Yeah, I'm here now. Can you please tell me that, up to which slide we have done the discussion in the last class up to this chipset diagram we have done?
Mm,
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Up to which slides we
Yes,
have
sir.
done?
uh,
Hello.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, so I said that in the last class, in up to which slide we have finished? We are discussing about motherboard. So up to which slide we have finished in the last class?
16, sir.
16.
16, sir.
Up to this, right? Up to the discussion of RAM. I'm not getting the response. What is the reason behind it? Are you not listening me?
sir, we did complete till 12.
In 12,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
up to the process socket. Okay. Okay, can you, all of you, can you please, unmute your microphone? I want to see that how many students are here.
Yes, sir.
Ferdowsi Akhtar, Sulti Akhtar, Mahmoud Akhtar, Meher Akhtar, Sul, Rahat, Sigda Chowdhury, Zahid Lal. There are four students. Okay, mute your microphone. Mute your microphone, all of you, please. Okay, so we are going to be continue the discussion from the processor socket. Actually, we have discussed about, oh, I think I have also covered this slide as I can remember. Okay, anyway, there are three processor socket we are seeing on the screen. One is that the land grid array, pin grid array, and ball grid array that we have discussed in the last class. So these are the different type of processor socket has been coming to the market with that the development of processor. Okay, so that the processor is developing with that actually it's of course that all related components with the processor must need to be developed. That means we are talking about always that the CPU, if the CPU is powerful, the CPU is all in all. So if the CPU, the processor is powerful, then our computer is going to be faster. But it's not only that the CPU that need to be extend. With that the power, because the CPU is a component that is going to be connected with that the motherboard through the CPU socket, and as well as the CPU is going to be um, talk with or contact with that the other components, surrounding components, so that there is a good communication build up. That the CPU is a very powerful thing, but you do not have the better bus lines, you do not have the better motherboard, you do not have that the better graphics card, you do not have the better audio card. So that means CPU, what a CPU alone is going to be do. So the development of the computer system is not only only based on that the CPU, but also that all related components. So it means that not only that the CPU's development is going on, each and every components of the computer system developments are going on. So in reflect of that, with that the CPU's development, we can see that there are three types of CPU socket till now we are getting. So here we are getting The first one was that the pin grid array. So there is another one that was not actually socket, that was the slot, right? That we have seen on the motherboard screen. That in one processor motherboard, that there was a simply a uh, place that where it could be, I mean, the processor could be installed into that the slot rather than the socket. But that is only for, I mean, single motherboard. Other than that, in all cases that the processor has been actually installed into that the CPU socket. So yeah, that this is that the first one, that the, I mean, with that the pin grid array. So the processor was with that the pins, right? So those pins is going to be considered as the male connector, and on that this one is the CPU socket was that the female. So that means that the pin must need to be placed onto this accurate hole positions to connect that the CPU uh, with that the CPU socket. So that is what the first time that this type of CPU socket we have used. And rather after that, I mean, we have moved to that the LAN grid array. So most of the processor in the market these days, we are having with this LAN grid array. So yes, this is the most followed one. So and then there is another one, that is the ball grid array. That is has been also, I mean, coming, or that is also actually we are getting as a advanced technology, the BGA, the ball grid array. So this is what that the three types of the processor socket we have seen. So who are actually developing this the CPUs, and these are the two companies that we are having here, that the Advanced Micro Devices, the AMD Incorporation and the Intel Corporation. These are the two companies are mainly the top manufacturers, CPU manufacturers, that they are actually developing the CPUs for that long time. They are actually in the market. These are the two names you'll get for the processors, that AMD and Intel Corporation. So they are actually having the competitions for a long time. Of course, that, I mean, CPU, in case of the CPU, the Intel Corporation, that Intel CPUs, Intel processors are much more popular than the advanced micro devices, that means AMD processors. But in honestly speaking, that the AMD processors are actually at almost same position with that the Intel processors that we are having into the market. So they are actually having the CPUs technologies. There are we know that in the inside of the CPU there are different components are there. There are different units are there. So through that the units, the CPU is going to be do that the operations. So if you're comparing these two CPUs, then you will find it out that in some cases that the advanced the AMD processor are much better than the Intel Corporation. But what somewhat that Intel is actually I mean having the business, I mean, in the market always it is on the top. The reason behind it is that Intel processor is actually more compatible with that computer system rather than that AMD. But AMD is also in the fight. AMD also is trying to actually the last few decades that AMD is actually trying to show the better performance than the Intel processor. Anyway, so these are the two companies. Both of them are actually into that the California. You can see that the AMD is an American multinational semiconductor company based in the Santa Clara country, California, that develops the computer processor and related technologies for business and consumer markets, as well as the Intel Corporation, commonly known as the Intel and stylized as Intel, is an American multinational corporation technology company headquartered in Santa Clara, California. So you can see that the places, right, the same places they have their company. So this is the headquarters is actually here, and it is in the Silicon Valley. So this is actually, I mean, one of the place that is you know that for the technology it is actually Bongo Bazar. Okay, you can think that, I mean, for that the CPU components it is the Bongo Bazar. Okay, Silicon Valley. It is that it is the world's second largest and the second highest valued semiconductor chip manufactured based on the revenue after being overtaken by the Samsung Electronics, and it is the inventor of the 8086 processor. Okay, and the processor found is in most personal computers. So this is the what I mean. These are the two companies. Basically, here we should have to know that AMD and Intel, these are the main developer for the CPU and all related components for the computer system. So yes, I mean they are into that the same country and same places. They are having their company, and they are producing that highest number of processors. They are actually bringing that with the advanced technology, the CPUs they are bringing into the market. Okay. So yes, the Samsung Electronics is actually that the top, right? It is telling that top has the semiconductor chip manufacturer. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now here we are going to be see some of the CPU sockets. So the CPU sockets here, yes, we are talking about the AMD and Intel. So we're going to see that some of that some series of the CPU socket for the Intel processor as well as for that the AMD processor. So it started with that the Intel processor used for desktop computers, the sockets. So you can see here that the different sockets name and used by that the processor family, and then the description of that the CPU socket. So if you're looking to this table, you'll simply find it out that there are there are a model for that CPU socket. So here that all the CPU socket you're seeing, that is for the LAN grid array, right? So this one. So that means these are not actually latest, but not older as well. Okay, so that you can see that LGA1366, it is also known as the socket B processor socket. So it is used by the Core i7, right? So Intel Core i7 processor, and it has how many pins, the configurations, what are the RAMs it supports, and yes, I mean it is going to be expected to replace the previous one, this one. Yeah, that the 771 and LGA 775, these two. So that means you can understand, you can see here what is the difference between here. That I mean, if you're looking to the processor family, so you'll see that they are all developing from Pentium 4, then the Celeron processor that was very popular on that the time it came into the market, and then and it is cheaper than the normal Pentium 4. And you can see here that it is the development, the Core 2 Extreme, Core 2 Quad, Core 2 Duo, Pentium Dual Core, Pentium Extreme Edition, Pentium D, Pentium 4, many Celeron processor. So these are the processors. Actually, it was there into the market. So this is if you're looking from the bottom to up, right? So that is actually the development. So that the socket 423 was only for Pentium 4. When Celeron come into the market, so the socket has been modified and came into the market with the model socket 478, and then it come as a socket T, LGA 775. So that was actually most popular one on that time, because there are several versions of processors came into the market, and all those processors are supporting into this LGA 775. And after that, it is coming with that the Core 2 Extreme for that processor, the LGA 771 or socket J. This one came into the market. That was very popular on that time. And here we are having that LGA 1366. So that is actually supporting that the Intel Core processor i7. So you can find it out that the difference. You'll see that day by day the processor pin numbers are increasing, and they're supporting that the more RAMs. So that actually the technology development. So you can see here that here 423 holes for pins, 478 holes for pins. So this is what actually which type of core that LGA PGA, right? Pin grid array for the pin grid array sockets. And then you can see here that 775 lands or pairs works with the DDR3 and DDR2 memory and most popular Intel sockets. So this is what actually started with that the journey of the land grid array. And then if you're looking to that, I mean, you will see that the pin number is reduced, but it has some high-end workstation, low-end servers, works with the DDR2 RAM. So other cases that the technology has been developed. So works with the DDR2 memory on boards that have two processor sockets. So this was a different version of that Intel socket. Okay. And this one, you can see that you can compare the pin numbers. So what does the pin number actually representing here? So with that, the pin numbers, we can understand that the CPU size somewhat, that CPU's pin numbers increase means that CPU's inside of the CPU, that the transistors, or maybe that the resistors, or maybe that the cache memory, that those inside that the components we are having inside the processor, that those actually developed I mean, much more developed. Okay, so we can understand that. So this is what actually the LGA 1366 here we are having the latest in this cell. Okay, so if you're looking to that the AMD processors, then you will be able to see the similar way, right? So from the bottom to up. So you can see here that the socket A has been used for this type, this AMD processor Athlon, Sempron, Doron. I have used this. I mean Athlon one, so it was good. It was really good, this processor. And these days maybe I forgot the name. Okay, so that is also quite, I mean, getting the market these days popular. It's getting much more popular. I mean, it's quite fighting with that the Intel Core processor. The recent time. What is that? The technology name?
Ryzen.
Ryzen one is that the Ryzen. Yes, right, exactly, Ryzen. And another one is there. There is a series, right? I mean, Ryzen is a series. So it is actually, I mean, Ryzen or Ryzen? Ryzen maybe, right?
Ryzen.
Yeah, right. So this is getting really, I mean, good response. It is getting from the people, and there are very good reviews into the internet about this processor. It is fighting with that the 3 series of that Intel 5. It is fighting with that the Intel 5 different models of the processors processors. I mean, AMD is actually having good. This is good for that the laptop, especially maybe, right? The Ryzen that series of the AMD processors. Anyway, so these are the family name that the name we are giving. Like here we are having the family name like Extreme, Dual Core, Premium, Extreme Edition. So these are actually some of that family code is also there. Family name here, of course, that the Intel with that the series, and then there is some family code that we are going to be learned when we are going to be do the experiment for our processor. Okay. So this is what that, I mean, this is how actually it is showing that, I mean, the development for the AMD processors as well. So you can see here that, I mean, it is also supporting, I mean, it is the processors have been improved, and as well as the socket, the necessary socket also need to be developed. Okay, so because it's actually, we can definitely we are very much clear about that the processor and that the CPU socket. Of course, that the processor you are improving, then with that actually you need that for supporting the CPU socket, right? So definitely that is going to be there. So usually that these companies, I mean that Intel and AMD, when they are developing the processor, as they are actually also giving that related the CPU socket as well, that actually what are the CPU sockets is going to be needed for installing this CPU that is coming into the market.
Sir,
So
is
here,
the CPU socket fixed on the motherboard?
no, yeah, CPU socket is fixed on the motherboard, definitely.
Like,
Definitely.
if we use
Yeah.
AMD processor, then we have to purchase the AMD motherboard as well. We can't use that on the Intel, isn't it?
It is not like that. I mean, AMD motherboard that you're talking about. Actually, there are some manufacturer companies are there, right?
Yes, sir.
So, so for example, that you have a tailor, okay? I mean, tailor shop. That means you are actually making that the say that the shirt, right? So that the shirt you are making, that the bottoms you are bringing from somewhere, the different components are going to be unique, right? Machine that that machine you're buying from some company, bottoms you're buying from some company, right? So you need actually several things to prepare a shirt, to make a shirt. Do you understand that? So
Yes, sir.
when you are, I mean that the AMD and the Intel, that they are bringing some of that the processors. So which is that the next processor is coming? It is already known. What is going to be the architecture of that the next processor? That is already known by that the motherboard manufacturers. So they know that. I mean, they should have to be need this CPU socket for that upcoming processor. You understand that? So actually, Intel has the motherboard itself. Intel has the preparing the motherboard, Intel motherboard. But for AMD processors, actually, AMD motherboards is not there. Do you understand that? They're not actually, or they are only supplying that the processor. But the motherboards is going to be prepared by the manufacturers. There are several, as I said, that Asus is there, then
Yes, sir.
Gigabyte is there. Do you understand that? They are actually preparing the motherboard, and the CPU socket will come there for supporting that the different processors.
We just have to match
Yeah.
the sockets only.
Exactly. So it's not like that. I mean, if you have for example, if you are having a desktop computer, and that means on your motherboard you are having a CPU socket. So don't think that all the processors are going to be supported onto that CPU socket. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you're looking to that the motherboard manual, you'll see that this your CPU socket may support only one processor or maybe only two processors. Do you understand that? The two different models processors.
Yes, sir.
It's not like that. I mean, in the same CPU socket, you will be able to install all type of CPU. No.
Processor. Yes, sir. What is
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so now here we are coming to the discussion of the memory slots. So this is the place on the motherboard where actually we're installing the RAM, installing our main memory, the DRAM. We are actually installing onto that the memory slot. So we have already we know that how to identify them into the motherboard. And yes, I mean we have said it already that I mean that the different motherboards are going to be give you that the memory module, the memory slots where actually we are going to be installed that the memory card. But again, that the different motherboards may have that the different RAM information, like that this motherboard, this that the picture you are showing, look that here it is written that what type of RAM it is going to be support. We are having the different types of RAMs into the market, but for this that the picture I have given for this motherboard, only that DIMM RAM is going to be supported. So that is the technology you can see here, that this is the type. So 240 pin 240 pin DIMM. So this type of RAM is going to be supported into these slots. But if you're bringing that the DDR3 RAM, that cannot be installed into this place. So for the DDR3 there is a different different motherboard is there. So that is what actually we should have to understand, that simply we cannot buy a processor or a RAM without checking without checking our motherboard, that which model motherboard we are having. So that is what that the motherboard discussion is important. That actually exactly what we're trying to do. So that the processor, I mean, if we want to upgrade our processor, if we want to upgrade, if we want to include the more RAMs into our computer system, then we must have to know that what is that the motherboard we are having. So if you're knowing that the motherboard, if you're going to the store and if you're telling that okay, I need I want to install, I want to buy a RAM for my computer. If you're telling that the motherboard model number, actually that the store the computer store person is going to be give you the appropriate RAM, that actually which one you need. And also you can check it by yourself. You can actually find it out that which type of RAM your motherboard is supporting. So if you are having that the extra slot free, then you can buy that the RAM from the market and actually you can install it. But if you are having that the 240 pin DIMM and from the market you are bringing that the 204 pin SODIMM, for example, then this RAM you will not be able to install into your motherboard, because if your motherboard is supporting this, then you should have to bring any one of the RAM that is supporting this type of slot. So that is what actually I have tried to actually make some of that type of slot. These are not the only slots for the RAM, but there are few slots I have placed here, and I am showing that actually these are the pin, their pin numbers are different. So that is the reason if you should have to bring that the appropriate RAM. You should have to buy the appropriate RAM to actually install into your RAM slot. So you can see that the different type of slots is going to be with the different types of motherboards. So you can see that you understand this. Actually, this is that the DDR2. So that it started with the DDR. That means double data rate. So this is the nothing but the technology, the improvement of the technology. That I mean, day by day they are trying to make that the RAM size bigger and much faster than from the previous one. So you can see that the 240 DIMM here that we are having, this is the supporting the DDR2 SDRAM, DDR3 SDRAM, and FBDIMM DRAM. And here for 172 pin, this was the DDR SDRAM, 184 pin DDR SDRAM, 200 pin SODIMM. That was actually famous for that, especially for the SODIMM is famous for that the laptops. The DDR3 SDRAM is going to be supported. Then the 214 pin micro DIMM DDR2 SDRAM is going to be supported, and this is actually the latest one that actually you can see that it is supporting the different type of RAMs. So here that the list it is trying to show to us that okay, we should then know that actually which type of slot are going to be support which type of RAM. So you should have to be memorize these informations. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So here it is trying to show to you this slot, some motherboards. Actually, most of the motherboards we don't care. When so that I have, if it is my motherboard picture that I am having then 4 slots, memory slots. You can see here that the blue, black. So so that means I'm going to be able to install here that the 4 RAM sticks can be installed into these 4 slots. So most of the cases, most of the motherboard cases, actually we don't care. We are having RAM, we can install it anywhere. We are having 2 RAMs, we can install it anywhere. Okay, so there is no need to be follow the sequences that okay, first one we are going to be installed here, second one we are going to be installed here. Most of the cases actually we do not need to think about that. But some of the motherboards, they are coming with the special settings that is actually showing that how it can be different. So that is why, I mean, when you are trying to installing your a new RAM onto your motherboard or any device, it is always good thing to check that your motherboard manual. So you should have to be, I mean, you are trying to upgrading something, first check that your motherboard is going to be supported or not, and if you are buying this, then how you are going to be install it, that you have to know that. I mean, the installation procedure must need to be known, that okay, how you are going to be install it. So this is what it is showing, that a description for a motherboard memory slot. So this is that the DDR3 DIMM, 4 memory slots are there, and it has some name like A1, A2, B1, B2. That all of that RAM is going to be the same. I mean, same design. I mean, same version of the RAM you are going to be installed. But here it is same A1, A2, B1, B2, and all of them actually with the 240 pin 64 bit. So what does that the A1, A2, B1, B2 means? So that is actually we are trying to tell here that it is meaning that the channel. So that the number 1 and number 2 refer to the order inside inside the channel. In usual case, when manual does not have other explicit instructions, slots must be filled in following order. So this is the case of the motherboard. I mean, one of the motherboard where it is trying to tell you that how, I mean, if you are having the 4 RAM slots, and if you are having that, say that 2 RAM you are going to be installed, or 3 RAMs you are going to be installed, or 4 RAMs you are going to be installed. So what is going to be the sequences for installing the RAM? So that is what it is trying to tell to you. The first slot of the first channel is going to be A1. So that, I mean, if you are having that, I mean, the 2 RAMs, then first RAM you're going to be installed in A1, and the second one you're going to be installed in B1. So this is your B1. So look that the sequences are not same. So it is for example, if it is my colors, then I can see that I'm talking about that first one I'm going to install here, second one I'm going to install here, then the third one I'm going to install here, fourth one I'm going to be installed here. So that is actually it is trying to tell to you. So this is that the sequences is needed to be followed, that when you are going to be installed that the RAM into your into this type of motherboard. But most of the cases actually we don't care. Most of the motherboard does not actually requires that actually you install the memory slots like by following that the sequences they have given. So this is, you should have to be, I mean, you need to be, I mean, look after while you are actually trying to increasing your RAM, your in your PC, if you are trying to increasing your RAM. So that is what actually you should have to know. Okay, that, I mean, the informations of your motherboard, that okay, is it okay that if you are actually installing the RAM in any slots, if you are buying a new one, is it okay to install that the RAM in any slots? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
How about the others? Others are not talking. Can you please unmute your microphone once again?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, still there are, I mean, some students, I can see that they are not here. Like Ojia Shorkar, Pulsika,
Yes, sir.
Oshin, Mizanur Rahman, Pooja Bishkar, Siddharth Choi. So make sure that, I mean, you are following the lecture. Very important. Okay, you can mute your microphone. Okay, so here I hope that it's clear that when you are going to be upgrade your RAM into your computer system, it's better to check that what type of memory slots you are having, and is there any sequences your motherboard is telling to installing the new RAM. So it is always going to be a better thing to do. So now we are coming to that the discussion of the chipset. Actually, the chipset refers to a group of integrated circuits or chips that are designed to work together. So actually, now when you are going to be see that the word chipset, always you should have to understand that okay, this is the chipset we are talking about. It's nothing, but it is giving some extra knowledge to it. It is giving some extra knowledge. That means some of that the instructions, okay, that, I mean, extra instructions are already imported into that the chipset. So these are the chipset that we are talking about. That is actually also a processing unit. So that means it is going to be have some extra instructions, okay, that, I mean, how to how to deal with that the different environments. Okay, so it's like that, I mean, this is that the kind of chips that we have used into that the computer system, that actually taking some responsibilities, taking some responsibilities to work with some of the different instructions. Okay, so it is going to be observed that actually what is going to be happening, I mean, when the instructions are moving from one component to the another component, these chipsets are going to be look after, or it is going to be observe those interactions between the different components, and based on that it is going to be decide that actually how this signal is going to be passed from one place to the another place. So this is what actually this the chipset, most of the chipset on the computer systems are going to be considered as the processing unit. So we are going to be discuss about it later on. A chipset controls the system buses, bus structures, facilitates the movement of data instructions between the processor, cache memory, internal and external peripheral devices. So this is what I was talked about, that the movement of the data, right? But you can see that there are other issues are there, like that the bus structures. That means the info path, the system bus, right? Info path. So we say that, I mean, the bits or signals are moving from one component to the another component via this info paths. So this is also going to be controlled by the chipsets. So the cache memory that we have explained a bit, that the cache memory is that the middleman between the CPU and memory, right? So if CPU needs some instructions to continue an operation, so it is going to be get that the instructions from the cache memory, right? So we are going to be talk about the detail about the cache memory in the upcoming classes. So the internal and external peripheral devices. Yes, there are different peripheral devices that we are having, like that. I mean, we are having that the PCI slots, right? So we are actually, if we're including some of the cards, like that special audio card, special LAN card, or maybe that TV card. So that means that is also going to be the chipset is going to be deal with that. Okay, how to control the signals, how to take the signals from one end to the another end. So the chipset is going to be work for that. So here it is showing that we are having the two main chips in the chipset. So this is a very important thing. The two main chips we are having that in the chipsets. What are they? One is that the north bridge, and another is that the south bridge. So that the north bridge we are talking about, this is also known as the memory control hub. And then we are having here that IO control hub. So that the memory control hub we are talking about. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that the memory control hub we are talking about, that is known as the north bridge, and the IO control hub we are talking about, that we call the south bridge. So I have already said you that when we are discussing about the motherboard, we have said that some of the motherboards are going to have the two chipsets. That one is that the north bridge. So this is that the north bridge. Which one is going to be situated beside that the CPU? That this is my CPU socket. So it is going to be that in a place so that it can handle that the traffic between that the RAM and CPU, as well as from that the graphics, that the special graphics card to that the CPU. So this the north bridge is actually responsible for that. So that is what actually it is known as that the memory controller hub. So that is actually we say here that the memory controller hub, and another is that the IO controller hub, that is the south bridge. So we have also known by this motherboard that this is my south bridge. Okay, so you can see that south bridge. So this south bridge that actually controls that this part of that the PCI, especially that the PCI cards or PCI controllers, right? This bridge. So they are used to having these two chips. So I mean, the two chips are also actually the main chipset. After that, the CPU chip. I mean that a microprocessor you are having, the processor you are having. So these are all actually going to be considered as that some sort of processing unit. So they are going to be the main processor unit. But you can see that I have also mentioned it to you while we are discussing about that the ATX motherboard. So you have said that these days we are not having that the two bridges onto the motherboard. In the recent time motherboards, if you're looking, then you will find there is going to be only one chipset. There is no two chipsets are there. Only one chipset. Look that here also it is one chipset. Look that here it is also one chipset. So this in the recent motherboard, you'll find it out that there is going to be only one chipset. So this is that we call that the express chip. So that is what actually I would like to tell here that this chipset is going to be actually that only single chipset is going to be combination with that the north south and north bridge and the south bridge that we have learned, that the two chips, two chipsets. So it is being, why it is has been done actually, that with the advanced technology they are making an express chipset, and that will be able to handle all of the instructions. So that means there is going to be only single bridge. That means there is going to be only one coordinator to controlling all the traffics onto that the computer system onto that the motherboard. What is the reason that it is made one? Because you want to save the space. Okay, you want to save the space on the motherboard, because I mean, there are, with that the development of the motherboard, with the development of the processor, RAM. So that means you are, I mean, day by day that you are needing the different components to support support that all of the components of the motherboard system. So that is why you are trying to reducing that. I mean, you are trying to saving the space on the board, because that with the development is upcoming. I mean, daily there is some in daily basis there is some development is ongoing. But remember that the size of the motherboard is not changing. Okay, yes, of course, that, I mean, we have already said there are, I mean, different sizes of motherboard, but that the sizes of motherboard is actually same. So that with the development, different things, different requirements are coming to change onto that the motherboard design. So that is what I mean. Everything is becoming compact. Okay, so this is what the two bridges we are seeing here. Actually, these days you'll find it on some motherboards, but very few of them actually having this two types of chipset. These days only one chipset is going to be there, that is the express chipset. That is actually I tried to mention here. So here we are talking about that these two chipsets. So that is what the north bridge and the south bridge we are talking about. So this is that the most important chipset block diagram. You must have to make sure that you are drawing it at your home and you're practicing it. This is actually a very good picture, very good block diagram that is actually telling us what the motherboard holds and how that motherboard components are going to be communicate or connected with each other. So look, that this is actually that the block diagram is telling us that how a motherboard, how a computer system is actually stand. Look at, if you are having the CPU socket, you are having the CPU, right? You are installing the CPU, and that the CPU has a connections with that the north bridge, your chipset, and this north bridge is connected with your memory slots. That means your RAM, and then this north bridge is connected with your graphics card. So that is what we say the memory controller hub. Look that it is actually maintaining that the bridge, or maintaining that the communications between the CPU, RAM, and the graphics card. So this is a quite interesting thing. I mean, by seeing this figure, if you know this figure, then you know that actually how the components are communicating with that the CPU in which way. So another part of the north bridge that you can see that it has been connected with that the south bridge. And that the south bridge, we know that this is actually going to be mostly controlled at the PCI cards. So look that the south bridge is connected with the PCI bus. So that means this is your PCI slots where you're going to be installed that the external card. And here you're having that the internal card, the onboard graphics controller. Okay, so this is actually you are having that onboard building, and this is actually that your PCI slots where you're going to be installed the special cards like that, sound cards, TV cards, something like that. And there you are having some of the chips that is actually available on the board. That is the Super IO. So that is covering that the keyboard, mouse, serial port, parallel port, and so on. And you're having a flash ROM or BIOS that is also connected to the south bridge. So this is what I mean. It is trying to tell you that how the north bridge and south bridge is actually connecting, make the connections between all of the components. So with that the CPU. So he is boss, definitely that. I mean, CPU is boss on the top. So how he is actually going to be communicate with each and every part of the computer system, definitely that is through that the north bridge and the south bridge. He is going to be able to reach to any one of the component, or any one of the component will be able to communicate with that any other components or CPU by following that these two bridges. So that is what actually in the box it has been shown, the dotted box, that these are the two chipset we are having. One is the north bridge memory controller hub, another is the south bridge, that is the IO controller hub. So this is how that I mean the bridge is actually representing here. And yes, in between there are several things like that. The CPU is connected with the NOT bridge. How? That is with the FSB, that we call the front side bus, FSB. So that is you can see. And how it is, the NOT bridge is connected with the memory bus. That is the memory slot. That is with the memory bus, right? So that the bus line that you have said. So that is that the bus lines. So that the bus lines, the signal is going to be passed from one component to the other component. So this is my memory bus for the memory slots. If you are having the graphics card slots, so you can see that that is going to be the high speed graphical bus, or AGP or PCI Express. So these are the bus lines that the line has been drawn. That the line has been drawn. This is the PCI bus to reach to that the PCI slot from the south bridge. PCI bus to reach to that the built-in graphics controller. And this is the LPC, that is low pin count bus. So that is for actually Super AU and the flash from BIOS. So that is what actually it is showing us. So you should have to make sure that you are drawing it. This picture, this block diagram, not only this but the next one also. This block diagrams is going to be ask you to draw in theory exam, in final exam, maybe into that the Viva time. So I'll ask you to, I mean, the class test, all those every places. These two pictures are actually going to be very important one, because if you know these two pictures, then actually you understand that how that the communication between the different components of the computer system, I mean, has been developed. Do you understand that? So these two pictures you should have to practice at your home. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the second one. In the second one, you are going to be see the a bit change, like what we have already. What I have shown to you, that it can have that there are two chipsets are there in some motherboards, and there are only one chipset is there. So this is what we have seen here, the two chipsets like with the North bridge and South bridge. Now you are going to be see with that the only one chipset, that is the Express chipset, only single. So this is that the block diagram it is trying to show to you here. So here we are having only one chipset, that is the only one Express chipset. So this is the Express chipset is supposed to having this both chipset capability. So this is going to be the only controller, I mean only bridge onto that the motherboard. So this is actually the Intel H55. So this is actually for special motherboard. This chipset is actually showing, explaining. So you can see that in this motherboard we are having that Intel Core processors, and then you can see there are 4 buses we are having for connecting that the DDR3 RAM. There are 2 buses are there for the D2 connecting the DDR3 RAM, and we are having that the Intel SD graphics PCI Express. So this is actually also going to be connected to that the Intel Core processor directly. Okay, so that we understand that the DDR3 RAM is directly connected with the Intel Core processor, and that the graphics inbuilt graphics and inbuilt PCI Express is going to be connected directly to that the processor. So now that the Express bus you are having, that has been actually connected with that the Intel Core processor. So through that the 2 buses, Intel FDI and the DMI buses, so that actually it is connected with that Express chipset. So the Express chipset you are having here, that Express chipset is actually connected with so many things. So you can see here that we are having the digital display for HDMI, DVI, so that is going to be supported by the Express chipset. Then we are having the high-speed USB ports, USB 2.0 ports. These days we are having 3.0 ports, so that is going to be supported by the Express bus. And these are the 280 Mbps each, that the bus lines are there for connecting them. And then you are having here that Intel integrated, so that is actually for your internet connections. The LAN card connections, that is actually supporting also that by the chipset. You are having the high definition audio, so that is also built in into your computer system. So that means this is going to be connected to the bus line from that the chipset to that audio Okay, and then you are having that here the 6 PCI Express. That is actually, we understand that this is the PCI slots where actually for you will be able to install the different cards. So that is actually connected with the chipset with that the 5 Mbps each X1. So that means this is the bus line is going to be the special bus line as well. So that is that the 6 serial ATA ports and the SATA and port disabled. So this is actually for connecting the different IDE devices. I mean, that that means your hard disk, DVD-ROM, CD-ROM. So this actually is going to be connected to these chipsets as well. And then you're having the dummy firmware and BIOS support with the SPI buses. So this is what actually we have seen, that there are different things. There are these are the both block diagram for the motherboard, but you can see here that I mean there is some difference. And if you're comparing these two boards here, that two chipset block diagram, you'll easily find it out that the technology has been actually improved a lot compared with this. So this is what here this motherboard chipset block diagram is telling us, that actually there are a lot of improvement has been done. So we are having a simple express chipset, and the bus lines, that the info paths, they have been also improved significantly, and that should need to be, because these days that all the things are with that that we are having that the high definition graphics, but it was not there. We are day by day that the graphics are improving or into your computer system. Their audio performance is increasing, right? That I mean, day by day your CPU is getting more powerful. Day by day that your RAM is actually with that the increased speed. So that means with that the development, with that the power, that I mean definitely that your computer system need the all developed I mean motherboard, that where you are going to be install them, that I mean how they are going to be connected with each other. So the traffic, the road if that in real life scenario, if you're looking that okay, the vehicle is going to be
নেট চলে গেল নাকি?
okay. Now can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can
Yes,
hear
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I was disconnected. It's gone. Okay, so that is what actually we are trying to tell, that I mean with that the development of the CPU, I mean day by day that with the development of the CPU, I mean I already said it to you that I mean it is going to be needed to development everything surrounding things. Okay, so I mean so that is what actually it is trying to tell, that I mean the block diagram we have seen. So on there actually the bus lines should need to be improved, that the different PCI slot you're having, that should need to be have the better PCI slots. There should need to be the better RAM, the DDR3 RAM we have seen, that means that the better memory slots need to be there, that you have increased that the CPU's power, so better CPU socket is going to be there. So that the paths, the bus lines you had, that the bus lines need to be much more wider, because you are having more instructions there, more signals are going to be moved here and there, as because that you are going to be get all the advanced things like graphics, audio support. So that means you need that more wide bus line, that means more wide roads for passing that the signals from one component to the another component and so on. So this is what actually, I mean, these are the two block diagram that we're having. I mean, if you are just, I mean, drawing it many times and trying to memorizing that, okay, how that components of the computer system are communicating with each other, then you are going to be have a very good concept. by seeing any motherboard block diagram, you'll understand that, oh, okay, so this is how that is going to be connected. This is how that is actually, this is what actually we need to be look after for buying something new, for buying some new cards or external cards, that what is going to be needed, or what are the things are supporting onto that motherboard. So you'll be able to, by seeing that the block diagram, you'll be able to actually understand that, okay, what are the connections between the different components within the CPU, how that the CPU is actually communicating with the other components. So this is what actually these two figures are really important. So I'll tell you to draw them at, many times, not only one time for drawing, but I'll tell you to practice these two diagrams at least 4 to 5 times. Draw each of the diagram, so that actually you can have a very good concepts about these two diagrams. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay then, thank you very much. We are going to be meet today at 7 p.m.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, happy birthday to